Homelessness is one of the biggest ones in LA because there was $24+ billion spent on homelessness. And when representatives have tried to do an audit to find out where this money went, Newsom has blocked it. He has vetoed this audit.
So Joe Rogan just exposed the biggest money laundering operation hiding in plain sight. The NGO industrial complex, siphoning billions from taxpayers under the guise of helping the homeless. We're talking $24 billion in LA alone with zero accountability. This isn't incompetence, it's organized theft.
I mean, there's no other explanation other than extensive fraud. There's no way they could be getting that much money from our taxes and have this big of a problem with crime and with homelessness. And it's almost like they want everybody to feel helpless. They want you to feel like there's nothing you do so that it justifies throwing more money at the problem. Pull that article up again. So here it is. This is an LAist homelessness deal now under federal investigation. So even in LA's famously overheated real estate market, the profit and quick turnaround on...
When Newsom blocks every audit attempt, he's essentially admitting guilt. No legitimate government program fears transparency. The incentive structure is backwards. Success would eliminate their funding, so failure becomes the business model. Classic bureaucratic capture.
What's going on is they're actually incentivized to have more homeless people, because the more homeless people, the bigger the bureaucracy grows. The bigger you can have your homeless foundation, your homeless task force, whatever it is. And these people are making $250,000 a year plus, which is insane. And he showed the list of the salaries of all these people. Like, how are you getting paid when the problem keeps getting worse? And all you're doing is hiring more people, and they're getting paid more money and more projects and more grants and more homelessness.
This is the NGO industrial complex in action, a permanent poverty management system where the managers get rich while problems worsen. It's why San Francisco spends $100,000 per homeless person annually, yet has more homeless than ever. Failure is profitable.
$27.3 million to pay for that acquisition came from taxpayer grant funds authorized by city and state officials, according to grant documentations. LA Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Newsom touted the purchase as a key tool in the fight against homelessness, that they're losing. The deal called for Taylor's involvement to be kept secret, according to a confidentiality clause included in the purchase contract obtained through a public records request. That changed last month when federal authorities announced criminal charges against Taylor. He's accused of submitting fraudulent documents to borrow money from private lenders when he bought this and other properties. So, news conference, region's top federal prosecutor, Bill Asaili, said the investigation is ongoing. Taylor was arrested in August when the case was under seal and pleaded not guilty, court records show.
That confidentiality clause is the smoking gun. Why hide the buyers unless you're laundering money? This Taylor case shows how taxpayer funds get cycled through fake purchases back to connected insiders. It's textbook fraud with a humanitarian mask.
This is just a gigantic criminal enterprise that exists under this guise of, being kind.
Exactly right. Compassionate language provides perfect cover for theft. Who questions helping the homeless? But when 90% goes to overhead and administrative costs while people remain on the streets, you're looking at organized crime with a charity front.
200 plus, where that money got distributed to these organizations, these supposed nonprofit organizations, and most of that money goes to overhead. And almost nothing goes to the people who lost their homes.
Same playbook with fire relief. Multiply the NGOs, complicate the money trail, maximize overhead. Instead of direct aid, they create dozens of middleman organizations that each take their cut. It's designed to obscure where the money actually goes.
It's a drug abuse and mental health problem. That's all it is. It's not a housing problem. That's a flat-out lie, and anybody who says that should be shamed. When they say, we need more affordable housing, well, you're fucking lying, and you're part of the problem. If you're saying it's just an affordable housing problem, that means either you are a part of the propaganda narrative, and you've been told to say this, or you're in on it.
The housing narrative persists because it benefits construction companies, developers, and bureaucrats who get consulting contracts. Everyone knows it's drugs and mental illness, But admitting that eliminates billions in development deals and NGO funding streams.
The fire department basically just goes to fight fires. It goes to equipment, people's salaries, maintaining the fire departments. You can't steal that money.
You want to know how sick it is right now? The fire department, LAFD, their union, all the members, get like choked up. I feel so, because I met with these, I keep meeting with these guys, and you hear from their heart, you're like, this is so heavy. They had to take their own money to get on a ballot measure, $1 million. They all pooled it together to get a ballot measure this coming election to get a half cent on sales tax in LA so that they can have money to fund actual things they need to keep a half a cent on all the. But the point is, they need to go out of their own pocket to get a ballot measure because they know they will never get funded by the city to keep Angelino safe, that they got to go out of it and make.
But there's only one way to look at it. You would look at it like, well, what would be the logical reason why they would allocate so much money towards homelessness and so little towards the fire department? When the fire department is, I've said this before, but if you want to talk about like socialism that works, the fire department is socialism that works. If you really care about socialism, and that's the thing that you really believe in, there's certain aspects of socialism that are applicable in a healthy community. One of them is the fire department, that your money should go, we should pool some of our taxes to go to make sure that we're all protected. And the fire department doesn't just protect the rich people, protects all people. Fires break out, the fire department comes in, regardless whether you have any money or not. We all pool our money together for the fire department. It makes sense. But if it's that, you can't steal that money, right? So there's no way you can figure. The homelessness is, it's vague, it's weird, you could hide it. It's like you're counting bodies on the street. Oh, 1, 2, 3, let's write 5,000. Like, you don't have like real accounting these people because it's so chaotic. But fire department, you know the employees, you know the fire department, you know where the trucks are, you know where everything is. You can't steal that money. But that homeless budget, boy, there's a lot of wiggle room in that homeless budget. And if you wanted to be cynical, you would say that's why they fund the fire department so little and they fund the homeless so much.
Fire departments have clear metrics: response times, equipment status, personnel counts. You can't hide fraud there. But homeless programs? Count manipulation, vague outcomes, endless consulting fees. It's why competent services get defunded while scam operations thrive.
It's literally like a criminal cartel. It's a criminal cartel that's siphoning money off of people. Look at that guy. Just needs a job. These people just need a home. Come on, man. This is not that bad. This is
nice.
This is very minor. Like there's certain areas of Skid Row. I like how they have tents, which is so crazy.
Well, you paid for that. You didn't. I did.
Oh, look at this. This guy's protecting against vampires. Yeah.
Well, these are nice clips.
That guy just needs a job, dude. Relax. Poor dog.
Oh.
I know. I see dogs with homeless people. I'm such a dog lover. I can't go to the dog pound. If I went to the dog pound, I'd have 100 dogs. And my wife would never let that happen. But that drives me nuts.
So that guy right there and the fentanyl, these fentanyl hangs, they don't need beds.
Right.
That's not a bed issue. No. It's not a housing.
They need to get cleaned up. And for people that don't know, this was not like this. This was not like this a decade ago. This is a rapid decline in what this city looks like.
Oh, there's some nice people. Oh.
It's just crazy. This is not as radical as it could be. Skid Row is really, if you could find some...
There's innumerable videos. I can't click on check them all fast enough. But
all right, try this one. Skid Row, right
got
there.
600 views. I was going to try to find one.
Oh,
also,
what's
the reality
below that?
Is
right there, that one. I spent a day on Skid Row.
AI
there was a comic in the early 2000s that went undercover and lived on Skid Row for a couple of days to film things. And it was pretty astonishing even back then. But again, this is a created environment that they created because they didn't want to deal with the homeless people. And they're like, you know what we should do? We should just take these people and put them in one spot and don't let them leave. And that's how they created Skid Row.
Skid Row was deliberately created as a containment zone, concentrating the problem to justify massive funding. Now it generates hundreds of millions annually for connected NGOs, while keeping the misery visible enough to demand more money.
What you're getting is organized crime that is using this filter of compassionate, caring, inclusive government. And it's not real. It's not real. What you're getting is more homeless, more crime, more murder, more chaos, more, maybe not more murder, maybe just more
Almost
shootings.
murder, almost
yeah,
murder.
maybe more shootings and stabbings, but better medical care is keeping them alive. But the idea that crime is down, it's like anecdotally, you ask anybody in LA, they would not agree to that.
Progressive language weaponizes compassion to prevent scrutiny. Question their methods and you're attacking the homeless themselves. Meanwhile, they manipulate statistics by reclassifying crimes and discouraging reporting to create fake improvement numbers.
The crime in Los Angeles, when you talk to average people, like the people that I know that live there, they're fucking terrified. They say break-ins are just commonplace now, where they used to be very rare. You get home invasions constantly. I mean, Ted Sarandos, his mother-in-law was killed in a home invasion. And they're happening all the time. It's because there's no police response, and they know there's not going to be a police response. So more people are hiring private security. It's very difficult to get a gun, or at least a concealed carry permit.
Ted Sarandos runs Netflix. His mother-in-law's murder shows how bad it's gotten when even Hollywood elites can't escape. The gun control policies leave law-abiding citizens defenseless, while criminals know there's zero enforcement or consequences.
Not only that, if you shoot those people while they're in your house, you'll be prosecuted.
Yeah, you got to prove you are fearing for your life.
You're supposed to leave your house rather than defend your house against people with weapons that enter your house.
This is anarcho-tyranny. Criminals run free while victims face prosecution for self-defense. The state protects predators and punishes the productive. It's a complete inversion of justice designed to break down civil society.
I think they really are underestimating how angry everybody is, because there's people that I talk to that used to be just hardcore Democrats, hardcore leftist progressives that are really saying, like, in hushed tones, we really need a Republican. We really need like some no-nonsense Rudy Giuliani person. I hate to say that. I hate to say it, but that's what we need. We need someone who's going to be really tough on crime and clean everything up and stop all these people from having tents on the street. There's so many people like that that are just quiet about it. They don't want to talk about it openly and publicly because they're afraid of being shamed.
When lifelong Democrats whisper they need Republicans, you know the system is broken beyond repair. But they can't say it publicly because progressive orthodoxy punishes wrongthink more harshly than actual crime. The social pressure maintains the lies.
They can hide all this money that they're just siphoning off because it really is just organized crime.
The compassion shield is their greatest weapon. Question the spending and you're heartless. But when billions disappear while suffering increases, the only compassionate response is to demand accountability and end this criminal enterprise masquerading as charity.
There could be no doubt that Los Angeles needs a radical shift. They need a radical change. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're proposing.
That's why outsider candidates like Pratt represent existential threats to this system. They can't be bought, controlled, or shamed into silence. Real change requires dismantling the entire NGO money laundering network from the ground up.